That 1930s guy here from Sagamore Hill. You're looking at the house of Teddy Roosevelt, 26th president, 1901 to 1909. Tried to be president again, 1912, as a third party, but failed. But was the most successful third party candidacy ever. But this video has nothing to do with Teddy Roosevelt. I'm here because it's a great view we're going to go to soon of Cold Spring Harbor, and I'm going to discuss more things with the last video I did about the Parsons kidnapping and murder, because there's a lot of stuff I didn't get to in that I wanted to say. I never had the chance because it was a lot of information I had to put out in that video, and there's some things that I think are important to say that I'm going to add to what I did. So if you didn't see the Parsons kidnapping videos, part 1 and 2, don't watch this video yet because it won't make sense. You'll ruin the story. But yeah, it's going to clarify these things with some final thoughts that I didn't get a chance to do before. So more interesting stuff coming. Hold on. You are now looking across Cold Spring Harbor to the Suffolk side from the Nassau side, the opposite I was on when I did the first video about the Parsons kidnapping, where I was standing about right where that white building is and the flagpole, if you can see. And I came here. I should have came here first because I realized exactly I didn't realize how good of a view from Sagamore Hill that you could get. Right across is a lot of the property where Alice grew up, Alice Parsons. And you could see there's loads of mansions on the hills there. There's one, there's another one. And her aunt and uncle, because it wasn't her parents, remember, owned land that was about from where this mansion is here in the center to about right across from where I am, like right here, showing that whole shoreline. It actually, the name of the property was Shore Land that they lived on. That was what they called it. And they also owned more property a little bit right adjacent to the east called Sammy's or Sammis Place, which had a residency also. And but when she inherited this, she had to share it with her two stepsisters. And the two stepsisters, one of them, the oldest one, was actually not even from her uncle, which is the direct relation, her father's brother. And the oldest daughter, there's 3 daughters, including herself. The oldest one was from a previous marriage of his wife. So it wasn't actually related to him directly, and there was a second daughter was his and his wife, and then there was Alice, who was from his brother. So they all had different parents, which was interesting. Growing up together on these hills across the way here, but it was still very substantial. I mean, not very many people could say they grew up across from the Roosevelt family. They could actually see the Roosevelt's property from where they are, even though Teddy died in 1919, so he wasn't there. Well, actually, most of the time he was there. So yeah, they lived across from the next president. So it shows you how wealthy they are. But it also shows you a lot about Alice's character, because she chose to live in that Stony Brook farm as opposed to living on some nice rich property across the way, which she could have done. She was definitely a very modest person, and I wanted to put in my final thoughts about the kidnapping. I mean, I do think that she was murdered, probably by Alice, or maybe some people she knew did it for her. William was involved, but I don't think he directly did the killing. He seemed a little too soft for that, judging from what I read. But Alice was definitely, she was quiet. She was a homebody. She liked to do farm work, but she didn't really have much of a social life. Reading about her, she was the only social group she was in was the Three Village Garden Club in Stony Brook. And she didn't travel very much. She didn't seem to do much of anything except her farm work. And she was a good person, but I think she was it sounds like she was a bit of a boring person, to be honest with you. And I'm sure that might have had something to do with the souring of the relationship that she had, which caused William to gravitate toward Anna. And I think it kind of took on a life of its own, and she took the steps for the murder, and he kind of just went along. She was a very strong personality, Anna. She for example, when she actually had her own press conference about the disappearance once, and she told all the reporters after the press conference that if they wanted to talk to her again, that they were going to have to offer her some money. And she also, they said a real estate person in California, where they were looking for a property, her and William, said that she did all the negotiating in the business end of buying the property, that she did the talking and he did all the signing. She didn't sign anything. He would sign it, but she was definitely seemed to be the one in charge. That's what they told the FBI. They were trying to keep up to date about what they were doing before they dropped the investigation. But yeah, she definitely seemed like a very determined person when she realized she wanted something. So I think she was the driving force behind it, but who knows? She was very good at not saying, just saying enough and never too much, and keeping William from doing the same thing. And another example of Anna's Anna's strong personality was after she stayed with the Russians. I mentioned that kicked her out when they found out who she was. Before she got an apartment, she stayed at the YWCA in Queens, and they got to share stuff with other people. She didn't like it there. And so in order to get out, and the FBI is watching her, she got on the phone and told William, who the FBI was also watching. He was still at Long Meadow, and then she told him that there was all these guys coming and flirting with her and bothering her. And they said he flew into a rage, hung the phone up violently, and ran out to get her. But the people at the YWCA said that they didn't notice any guys coming along and talking to her at all, that she completely made it up. But she seemed to know exactly how to push the buttons of William, and that's just an example. And I also wanted to say that I noticed in the video I didn't directly say, I said she had a son, and I said the name Roy, but I never really actually directly connected. Her son was Roy. That's the Roy I say in the videos, and he was about 11 years old when this incident took place. So I wanted to add that. And now we're going to go back to the site where the house used to be, because I didn't have as much time as I wanted to get some good relics. I think there's more to see there. And I examined more the property, what it used to look like. There was actually aerial photographs from the early 30s. So I got a better idea of where exactly things were. And I saw some rocks and some interesting looking plants that didn't look like they belonged in the area. And I'm pretty sure that was part of their front lawn. So I'm going to go back there and tell some more stuff that I should have mentioned, or I wanted to mention but didn't have the time in the last video. So hold on. I am now at the real spot where the house used to be. I was a little off before. I might have been at like a shed or something, but I don't know. But this was definitely, there's all kinds of houseware all over the place. It looks really old. It looks like there's fire maybe, but you definitely see pots and pans, glass, all kinds of stuff. Yep. See that. And here. And as you can see, there's a clearing here. Indication there was something, but it's really all this. See, looks like some kind of kitchen, bathroom porcelain. An old mug. Esso, that was a 30s company. And old style buckets. Huge pipe here. It's really a archaeologist's dream here. This is so much stuff. And I made a little collection here of things. Different pots and pans and bowls. You can see. And I found a little structure of a fireplace I'll show in a little bit. Or I think it was a fireplace. But yeah, here's a neat little tin can cup. But yeah, it was definitely something that existed here. And here's what really caught my attention, was seeing this structure here. I'm sure if it's a fireplace or something like that, but definitely something. There's a collection of stuff I'm gonna keep. Pretty interesting. One's a Jergens lotion bottle. One is from a company I never heard of. I'm gonna look it up. And this looked like it was a can of something. And then a comb. It's pretty neat. Metal comb. But anyway, back to the story. I just wanted to say some more of the lies that Anna told that she got caught on that added to the evidence. But it was, never enough to say they definitely did it, or you could pin it on them. But she definitely lied a lot. She lied about, she originally told the police and the press that she was a member of or her ancestors were in the Russian nobility, which wasn't true. And she also said that the garbage man, when he came in, went inside to get the garbage like he usually does. She said that before they talked to the garbage man. So she lied about that. The car being in a different position was really weird. And she also made some complaints. People said that talked to her said that she sometimes did complain about Alice, but it's a maid. I'm sure people complain about a lot of stuff today, and they did then too, so it could have just been regular complaints. But she had said stuff like how Alice didn't know how to take care of a house, that she doesn't know how they were able to survive before she got there, because she's a horrible housewife, that she does good farm stuff, but when it comes to anything inside the house, like cooking or anything, she's clueless. And she was noted for being very negative towards Alice when she talked to people she knew. But that's not really evidence. And like I said, it's a lot of evidence that suggests they did it, but it's just not enough to say for sure that it had to be them. And that's how they got away with it. And but I think it's pretty clear, especially now that nothing ever came up that would point to anybody else. So, but I thought it was an interesting story, and I hope you enjoyed seeing it, and look forward to seeing new interesting videos about the 1930s and fantastic, interesting events that happened during that decade. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed it.